stories created by Steven Spielberg in the 1980s. This show is pretty awesome. It's an anthology series featuring the science fiction, fantasy, and horror genres. And you've got some interesting guest directors. So why don't I tell you about some of my favorite episodes? Alright. One of the episodes that I thought was really interesting was an episode called Mummy Daddy, featuring an actor who plays a mummy in a film, and then people actually think he's a real mummy. So that's pretty crazy. Alright? And then to make matters worse, there is an actual mummy on the prowl. Okay? And his child's being born. That's why it's called Mummy Daddy, because the actor playing a mummy is gonna have a kid born. Okay? There's an episode called Go to the Head of the Class, from Robert Zemeckis, who, I mean, you guys, you know him. You've seen at least one of his movies. The Back to the Future trilogy. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Castaway. Forrest Gump. Flight with Denzel Washington. Polar Express. I mean, he's done all kinds of stuff. So, it had Christopher Lloyd, who is in a few of his movies. So, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. And it's about like witchcraft and stuff. And young love. Alright. Miss Stardust. From Tobe Hooper. This is a weird one. Tobe Hooper, the guy that did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Poltergeist. And this one has Weird Al Yankovic as Cabbage Man. Now I'm a pretty big Weird Al fan. And I loved his character. Probably one of the best characters in the whole show. I mean, he's only in one episode, but still. Hilarious. A treat. A tour de force of a character. There's an episode called The Family Dog, from Brad Bird, who, I mean, you guys have seen at least one of his movies. Come on. Iron Giant, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. And he, of course, had his big start on I guess this show and The Simpsons. His like early work there, and yeah, I mean, this is the only animated episode, I believe, and it's really freaking good. It's like not anything like any of the other episodes, but it's really good. I like it. And Welcome to My Nightmare. That's a pretty interesting episode, guys. It's basically It's a Wonderful Life meets Psycho. Hey man, it works, okay? I don't know what to tell you. I like that one. That one actually has a happy ending. Most of them have like, kind of like a cliffhanger, or like a goofy, jokey ending. It's kind of a nice, sweet ending at the end of that one. There's an episode, Ghost Train. Alright, and of course, Steven Spielberg directed it. And of course, it's a very whimsical episode because, I mean, let's face it, when Spielberg gets involved with some kind of fantasy or, family production, it's usually pretty whimsical. And my personal favorite episode is directed by Joe Dante. Now, Joe Dante has done a lot of movies, horror and some other fantasy stuff. His most famous work is probably Gremlins, which, hands down, one of my favorite feature films. Okay, a true classic. Gizmo's a hero. Alright? And this episode, The Greeble, that Joe Dante directed, it's got like this Dr. Seuss inspired creature. I think that's why they got Joe Dante to direct it, because it's kind of like a... I mean, he's kind of like a Gizmo Mogwai type creature. I mean, he's huge, so that... Not really in that sense, but he's kind of like... he's cute, he's fun. It's like... It's kind of like the cartoonish side of Joe Dante, because... Well, Joe Dante seems to really like horror. He also really likes cartoons, so... he also directed the my favorite segment from the Twilight Zone movie, which was a cartoony segment. So, there you go. Amazing Stories. It's, a hit show. It's a true classic.